Give a kind of a warning to the people, hey, just slow down on the AI, because people, they were just smashing out thousands of articles every.
So what's going to happen is they're sending a signal to search engines. There's a local business here. And this is the one, what they do with catering. This is who I want to use. So it's just sending a signal, a trust signal like that.
To just go and write it down the entire article on the overall thing as well. Do you what?
That's how I approach a local business's market.
Take the content and slap it on the website and do a.
Is one of the best doctors in DC or one of the best tapas restaurants. This adds credibility to the local community, testimonial, and that's going to build that trust for an easier conversion.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Agency Growth Lab. And today we have a very special guest joining us. He's a seasoned expert in the digital marketing field with a wealth of knowledge that spans over 2 decades. He's the founder of Adam Reimer Marketing, a digital marketing expert whose insight has helped countless businesses thrive online. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Adam Reimer. Adam, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you? And thank you for having me.
And I'm very good. Thanks. Thanks for asking. So yeah, Adam, to get the things started, can you share a bit about your journey? How did you get first into the wide world of this content marketing?
Uh, yeah, so I started in marketing before I knew about content marketing and before most people were online. And it was just in the 90s putting up websites. I was part of a theater group and some other things. And they put me in charge of marketing when the person that actually did it professionally for a living decided to leave. So I filled in, just turned out I was pretty good at it. And once I entered the corporate world and left to start my own company, it's just something I've always had a talent for and that I'm passionate about and I like. And what's fun about content is that it exists in multiple forms and pretty much every channel. It can flow into your email campaigns, remarketing, your SMS, and everywhere in between.
Yep, that's great. That's good to know that. And like marketing is constantly evolving, and it can feel be like we are chasing a moving target outside. So, what do you reckon is actually working right now in marketing? You reckon? So let's say for the local businesses, I'd say, because most of our audience is the local business owners as well. So for them who've been starting out, they sometimes be kind of in a dark. They don't really know how they need to get it started with the marketing. Is that something they need to go with SEO, or they need to go with the PPC ads, or even the video content marketing, or the blog content marketing? What do you think about it?
I would first say, what is your business and what needs to happen for it? What you want to do as a local business is become the brand and become what people trust and what people think of when they think of something. And that doesn't matter if you're a bakery or if you're a service provider like a plumber.
Yep.
So, what I would recommend first is define, what do I need to do to establish trust? So, if you're looking for a dog walker or a cat sitter, for example, you're going to be the person's going to be allowing someone not only into their home when they're not there, but to care about their best friend, about the one thing they care about equally to their kids, probably more than their significant other, too.
Yep.
And so basically, think about, how can I start off by building that trust? What groups do I belong to and where am I a fit there? And how can I get reviews that are going to matter? So Google reviews are important, but when it comes to that personal aspect where the person's in your home, unwatched, unguarded, and taking care of your children or your pets, something like Facebook might matter more. When somebody leaves a review on Facebook, it shows to everybody, but more importantly, as new people in your local community are looking you up as a service provider, they're going to see a friend or a connect positive review. They can reach out to that person and get the firsthand testimonial, and that's going to build that trust for an easier conversion. After that, you're going to want to think, how can you further build that trust or some sort of relatable aspect. So if most of your people are religious, doesn't matter if it's Jewish, if it's Muslim, if it's Christian, look for the congregations that have opportunities for you to volunteer, exhibit, or to become a part of the community. So you could sponsor any of one of the holidays. It could be Diwali, it could be Christmas, it could be Hanukkah, it could be anything. And look for the brochure where you can advertise. Look to see if they have a charity event to raise funds for animals or something, and set up a free photo booth if you're a photographer, for example. Something that engages with the community so they become familiar with your brand. There's an added benefit here. Once they know who you are, once they're experienced on that, they start searching search engines by name for you. So for you, it might be Rohan's catering. And so what's going to happen is they're sending a signal to search engines. There's a local business here. And this is the one, what they do with catering. This is who I want to use. So it's just sending a signal, a trust signal like that. By having a brand demand, it may or may not help your website populate more. More importantly, the brand demand is going to make it easier for you to get featured on the local news in local papers. So I live in Washington, D.C. Our local magazine's Washingtonian. A lot of us will give credit to it because it's written by internal staff, probably not bribed to feature customers, but you could advertise there. But when you're featured as one of the best doctors in DC or one of the best tapas restaurants, this adds credibility to the local community. And if they link to your website, it may or may not count as a backlink to help boost your SEO. SEO is your search engine optimization. For local, it involves your Google business profile. It
Yep.
involves making sure you're collecting reviews, making sure that your schema, it's just a fancy type of markup that goes on the back end. Tell your IT team or your hosts to do it for you. And it just says, here's the area I serve, here's what I do. And it's about just sending signals about what you do, how you operate, and the area you serve. And that's how I approach a local business's marketing.
Yep. No,
From
that's
there, you can do the advertising, movie theaters, shopping carts, billboards, whatever you feel is relevant for your audience and where your audience is at.
yeah, exactly. And I guess like the it really helps to have a more dwell time on the website as well. And that itself makes a kind of a ranking factor in Google that hey, the person is coming in, they're trying to spend a lot of time in the form of reading the content, maybe going to the different pages, and overall Google finds you kind of an authority into the field. And I've seen recently, you might have already know about it, that the authority, topical authorities, a lot of people they are talking about these kind of terms on the web these days. Hey, whenever we are going to actually start writing about it, it's better we should actually start writing overall about the topic, because if the Google bot is coming in to crawl the website, the Google gets a kind of an impression that hey, this guy has actually written pretty much about everything. So if it's a plumber, the guy has written about like plumber, how to fix the taps, how to drain pipes and all that kind of things. Do you really think like it is really important to have a omnipresent approach when it comes to content marketing, not just on the website, even on the different assets we have got as well, like the
I
LinkedIn.
think that people like conspiracy theories too much.
Yeah.
Google doesn't care about your dwell time.
Okay.
What Google cares about is the experience on the website. If somebody goes and they click into your website and they don't have to do another search, yes, Google makes money. The more searches, the more ads they can show, the more they make. But if Google has surfaced your site and you give an easy to find solution that's accurate and doesn't require more searching,
Yep.
then they're probably going to be able to tell that you're a good site that's providing this information. You don't need to write about every single topic. What you need to do is write about what your users would find interesting. If it's something that's totally unrelated to your users and they're never going to care about it, it's not topically relevant, even if it shows up in the tools as part of the search. You need to meet your consumers' needs. If you're writing stuff that they're not going to be interested in, but they did enjoy one article you wrote, then they go to your blog's homepage, for example, and they
Yep.
see a million things that don't make sense. They're not going to want to come back. They're not going to explore more. They're not
Yep.
going to discover you also offer another service. So
Yep.
yes, you need to be the authority on the topic, but it needs to also be directly relevant to your customer base, or you're chasing your own business and your own loyalty away.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. And What do you think about the recent this AI has come through and they've tried to and the people they have stopped using kind of like human writers and they feel it like it's much better to just use take the facts from the AI and even tell ChatGPT to just go and write it down the entire article on the overall thing as well. What do you think about that? Do you think like are you a big fan of AI first of all?
Oh, I absolutely love AI, but if you're doing what you just said, you're going to find out pretty fast it doesn't work. It will give you a nice small spike in traffic and
Exactly.
possibly ad revenue, but you're going to fall and you're going to lose your business. You
Yes.
have to connect with people and you have to add value and you have to be accurate. And if all you're doing is using a large language model, or an LLM, basically you're taking other people's content, you're spinning it as your own. You can do the same thing with an article spinner. It's not going to help you. And it's
Not
not actually accurate, even if it's factual. Still, that already exists somewhere else on the web. There's no reason to show your site because it already exists. So you
yeah.
have to do something original and unique. Something that's learning off of articles that already exist can't do
Yeah.
that. They can just compile, but anyone can scrape 10 articles, stack them on top of each other, and spin them just as effectively and probably a lot better than an LLM because this is also going to include sourcing and original sources that have been sourced elsewhere. So
Yep.
it's just a game of FAFO. You can Google that if you want the acronym. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't swear on this. It's
Yeah.
stupid. So you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And that's what using an LLM for content creation is. Use it to rewrite topics, use it to fit things into if you have a character limit like PPC ads, but
Yep.
don't use it to create your content.
True.
If you're stuck trying to phrase something, you can use it that way. You can use it for synonyms. You should never use it to write content if you want to have a business.
Yeah. No, that's very true about it. And I guess that is one of a place where most of people are getting mistaken because they feel like it's more easy to just give a couple of prompts to AI and let it just spill out the entire content. What they simply do is they just take the content and slap it on the website and do a kind of a publish and pray approach. Like, hey, maybe we're gonna get it to the top of rankings and they're gonna stick to the top for a long time as well, which is not really going to happen as I particularly say. So yeah, it is really very important if I mean like I feel like and that's what are some of our tests says like to take the content, take the facts from AI, and then, but still we can't be use the same content as it is. We need to actually give our personal touch, humanize that thing to make it happen. So
And
I
add things that don't exist that only you
that
would
don't
know because you were
exist.
the expert. None of this is new. Everyone's just pretending it is.
Yep,
It's nothing has changed, including the abusing Medium, abusing Reddit to get top ranking and LinkedIn Pulse. That's
yes,
always been there. It's been a practice that's happened for since I was around in the 90s. We used to abuse Angel Fire and GeoCities to get
yeah,
sites ranking.
yeah.
And that was over 20 years ago. And then you had Squidoo and Lenses, and those were ranking really well until Google decided, yeah, this is just being abused. And so Squidoo disappeared off the face of the earth. It's just a cycle. It's nothing new. You're not being smart. You're not being creative. You fell for snake oil and you fell for a scam, same as the people do every few years when the new thing comes.
Yep. And what do you
So
think about the last September when Google actually rolled out that helpful content update? Because that was one of a big smash. And when they gave a kind of a warning to the people, hey, just slow down on the AI because people they were just smashing out thousands of articles every day on the web without any kind of a knowledge. So what do you think about it? I mean, like helpful content update. So let's say I've got a so all right, let's go a little back and then we're gonna come to the helpful content update once again. So everyone wants to write a perfect piece of articles which can do a happy dance. So what you think is a secret sauce in the content itself is really required when they are going to create a perfect piece of article which can rank better in SERPs as well. What is that secret sauce should be in that article they need to go with?
I had a lot of travel sites and a lot of product review sites reach out to me, and it was the same exact story on all of them. They didn't do anything original. They wrote about their experience and they showed photos of themselves or having the product on hand, but that doesn't matter. Anyone can do that. Anyone can write that. So
Hmm.
for travel sites, for example, with one travel blogger that I was talking to, she had dominated the entire travel industry for a specific popular city and she got wiped out. And when we were talking, I'm just going to make something up right now. We were talking about a castle, and it gets very hot in the day and it gets cold at night in this particular city. And so I said, well, do you also, you have this entire category about food, and I'm just going to make this part up, photography, because a lot of people know I like to take iPhone photos when I go running.
Yes.
And so I was like, what you shared here was the same thing that everyone else knows. You just put a couple of pictures of yourself in there to show you've actually been there. That does not mean the SEO concept eat, and that does not make it relatable. What's missing from here is the other parts of your website. You didn't say, here's where to get the best photos. Here's when to go because of golden hour and the day and the night. Here's the east side and the west side and the best viewpoints for the city so you can capture this. And then you also forgot to talk about the things like if it's a big staircase to get up here, but there is an access for an elderly person or someone who's in a wheelchair or has a walker, then
Yes.
here's the way to get up there. And you're going to need to give yourself 15 minutes because you have to go around here. These are the things that actually show experience. And those are the things that more importantly help the user. So if you need an all encompassing, you've got to make it that way. If you're just going after people that want to take photos, then who cares about the big traffic? Instead, list the photo spots there, list how to get there, the times of day, and share the apps that track the sun and when daylight will be there. These are
Yes.
the things that actually stand out and help the users. And nobody wants to put that level of work in, which is why when helpful content came, they said all of these sites are the same. Even if the one's been around for 4 years and has the original work that was already there and everyone else is stealing their photos and their
Yes.
quotes. Well, it doesn't matter because they're all one and the same. Who's going to be different? Well, let's just go with a major media site because at least they're written by editors, even though we've discovered that maybe they're not. Maybe they're affiliate listicles. Maybe they're not experts. Maybe they're contributors. Maybe it's a pay for play model. But still, if everything is equal, including that big brand, which is using the same images the content creator did, that brand's more trustworthy. So let's show that. To regain your traffic and the sites that I'm seeing that are recovering, they're the ones that put the effort in. They're the ones that provide a real experience. They're the ones that are thriving. And I'm actually seeing a lot of them. The ones that changed course and actually rebuilt they didn't rebuild their sites, but they updated the content. So it adds that level of value. Those are the ones that are now climbing back. And about an hour ago, Google just said there's the June spam update that's launching. So the spam update may actually reverse some of the negative things that had happened. It could also be the algorithmic portion of the
Yes.
Parasite SEO update. That's not launched yet. So this could be a really interesting one. The thing is, you have to actually show your experience and expertise. A photo
Yes.
does not do that, and
Yes.
neither does repeating things.
Yep. And that actually brings me to the next question I was having in my mind, which is EEAT. This is one of the most flashy term, these days in the SEO, especially EEAT, to show out your experience, trust, authority, and all that kind of things. Now, there are obviously some off-page factors included as well for it to get a proper PR, get editorial links, and all that kind of things, even the reviews as well. But let's focus more on the content itself. So let's say if I'm the one, there is some client who is coming to me or even to you, and what kind of EAT factors do you really think the person should be having on the website, which can help them to satisfy the EAT algorithm basically for Google?
So there is no EAT algorithm. EAT's just a
EAT
concept.
ranking
It's
factor.
about building consumer trust. And it just goes back to the very first thing I said. How do you get the person to either realize you've experienced the same situation, or even if you haven't, you're qualified to fix or provide a solution. And that could be a legal certification. That could
Yep.
be a degree. That could just be you've been doing it for 30 years.
Yep.
It could be that you're an authority, and that's done because you've won awards. You're featured in peer reviewed studies. You're invited to keynote at respected conferences versus conferences that allow people to pay to speak or that have sponsors on their stage.
Yep.
There's different things. And then there's trust. Is this something? Have you sourced things? Have you backed up the claims? Is it something that could be believable even by people with more experience than you? But the most important thing is, does the user on the page actually believe what you're saying? And have you given them a reason to convert? A conversion could be coming back to you, it could be subscribing, it could be making a purchase, it could be hiring you. But that's what EAT is. It's not a
Yep.
ranking fact. It's not like a signal or an algorithm. It's a mix of how well have you built your audience's trust and what are you doing to show that you are trustworthy.
Yep. No, that makes complete sense. So yeah, just a very final question I really want to ask Adam is like, let's take a hypothetical scenario. Someone is coming to you, and that person
But they
could be
better
on
have pizza or
break.
wine.
Yeah, pizza. Or you can say that, or they're coming in and they're asking like, "Hey, I've just started a business." Just take an example of a dentist. They are just starting in. They have opened up the show, and they're saying like how you can help with the in terms of branding, getting the new leads and all that kind of thing. So, what is your omnipresent approach in that particular case is for that kind of client? In regards to SEO, it can be PPC, it can be in the form of overall branding, because overall branding is something the people most of the time they just neglect. So what is your mindset be in that case, and how do you go about it? This is kind of
Well,
a
if a
question.
dentist comes to me, I'm going to be panicked because I'm terrified of the dentist. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them who is their audience because they could be an orthodontist, they could be a general dentist, they could be a pediatric dentist, or they can be someone that does oral surgery inside their office as well as general dentists. From there, we're going to say, okay, what exists in our community? What percentage of this population? Or do we need to go to the next county over because you're the only one? So there's a lot of rural towns
Yep,
that don't have enough medical professionals. And
yep,
that's across the entire world. It's not just here in the US or for you in India. So we're going to look, where is our core audience? Okay, so let's build the brand there. What exists there? Are there, if we're going after retired people or retirement homes, how do I get in there? And I'm going to say, and I'm going to see how I can survey them or get their information, which isn't always very easy. And sometimes that's when you have to exhibit at a community event or a firefighters
yep,
event where they're doing a fundraiser or something. And maybe you're offering a free quick like scan with your little mirrors and stuff. And you're just going to have each person fill out a questionnaire. From there, we're going to know what they have, what their problem is, what their fears around the dentist are. And that's when I'm going to start developing the brand identity. That's when I'm going to start writing the copy for the website. And this is because it doesn't already exist. You can also look for dental practices that are going out of business because there's a lot of baby boomers out there that were business owners. They're retiring. Their kids may or may not want to have their practices. So I may look if I can acquire something that already has a user base. But if that person's 4 years from retiring, you can take their customer base, build their trust, and get it started. Or you can talk to them about what worked for you, what caused you to lose clients. You can start to build your brand around why they were successful and why their business lasted till retirement, when most companies fail before the person gets to retirement. That's when I start the marketing
all
because you
right.
can spend as much money as you have and lose everything, or you can collect data and base it off of data to have a potentially a better shot at succeeding.
Yep. No, that's very true, because a lot of people they just get into a rush. They feel it like, hey, let's go and get started running the ads. But it is actually very important, like you said, to collect the necessary data and see what the other businesses in the town they are doing. Are they really running the digital ads, or they're getting something from SEO, or they're using some other way, like putting on the events or something like the booth in the events, or what else they are doing, which are bringing them the quality leads. And then once we have all the data in place, it's just a matter of actually rinse, repeat, and try to understand what the best can be to get started. So it is actually a very good point. Just a very there's a question actually I just forget to ask you. Do you go about funnels as well? I mean, like do you those funnels basically rather than just rolling out the traffic to a standardized page, it's better to just
Of
send out the
course,
a proper funnel page, like these
you
kind of
can't
push
build
process.
sustainable business if you don't have
Yeah,
a proper
a
funnel.
proper copy, I mean, where there's a proper hook in a place and then all those benefits and everything. So that kind of page, do you prefer those as well?
Everything's situational. In most cases, it does work, but in some, it doesn't. You just need to get them to the product as fast as possible and answer their questions
Yep,
before they ask them, so they
yep.
know it's the right solution.
Mm,
Other times, like if you're looking, so you were asking about local businesses, so it could be a medical spa where
yep,
they're sticking needles in you, they're modifying your face, or plastic surgery. So that was definitely going to need a funnel because you have to build the trust because they are literally modifying your physical
yep.
appearance.
Yeah,
So
and
it's going to
before
be
after,
situational.
yep, and before and after kind of a copies as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
if it's something like I need to replace an air filter because it's broken, you're the local hardware store. You just need to show you have the one that fits and
exactly right.
replaces it.
In that
So
case,
you don't need a
don't
funnel.
really, yeah, they don't really
It's
need
in
a.
stock. We're open till 10 p.m. This is the size. It works with this unit. Congratulations. Come get it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true. No, thanks. Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate all the insights and experiences you have shared with us. And there has been like a lot of things I've learned from you in those 30 minutes because I guess there were a few things I was missing in myself as well, especially this EEAT factor, the one which you said it. Like it is more important to have and put it like all those kind of a certifications in place, what kind of things we have done, so that it brings in the people's when someone they are coming in onto on that website on the web page, they can literally see like I'm at the right place, and it just helps out to build out a trust and a long client as well. So no, definitely that was very good all about it. So thanks for that, Adam. I really appreciate all the time you have given us. And yeah,
Yeah.
if the people they want to know more about you, where they can come and see you, are you on LinkedIn or on your website or YouTube somewhere?
Yeah, you can find me on adamreimer.me. That's my
All
blog.
right. Yep.
Or on, I mean, LinkedIn's easy to find me. I'm more active there than other social media places now. Or I've started going to conferences again a little bit. So if you see me speaking at one, then yeah, let's just
Yeah.
come up and say hi.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Adam.
much for having me.
Really appreciate that.